The Tale of Genji. Autumn Leaves. Higa. Murasaki Shikibu. Young heart failure seated as to be Qinghai wave Shizuka. Domo accustomed to below Akiko. Miyuki of Suzaku Council was supposed to be 10 several days of October, because was a reputation as a performance of song and dance of the day is done especially judiciously. People of concubines, it was disappointed that cannot be the imperial palace. Emperor, be regrettable to Obo Shimeshi that cannot be made to show you the Nyogo barnacles. It was to see so done in the sight of the same thing as the day as Sheila, Lieutenant General of Genji, was waiting for Qinghai wave. Two people dance partner was Sadaijin House of Head Lieutenant General. This Kimiko also of their appearance which is superior than people. There are no words than a scene in the vicinity of Genji, say a tree deep in the mountains that Tanari to Sakura, Nami Aomi under the evening before the quick bright became sunlight as in was danced. Music to the land also sounded particularly dull. Also face diction while the same dance. To the splendor of such depressing wave foot. The Qinghai dance even other wave was a completely different feeling. Etc. Where the dancing hands sing. I was asked the voice of Karyobinga of Paradise. Emperor, to the sophistication of the dance of the Genji was also Basayura Gurui. Associate the officials also are also the same people. Prince. When the sleeve is finished, song is pulled down to the bottom. I saw with you that also shine than normal in the hands of the cheek dance to Nigi Washiku happen. Musical tone as standby is stained. Nyogo of his mother of Crown Prince's mind while recognizing the beauty of the hand dances was not a Tairaka. I God is thought whether he does not if staring into that good looks creepy. To say such a thing, such as the young wife heard thought miserable. Palace of Fujitsubo was also bossa feel like a dream even while seeing that it would be dance that look beautiful I had alone not have been guilty mind their own. Nyogo of the night watch was this house. It was Shilanami Aomi is the king of today. What do you think helpful? Mia is hard to our Stonehenge. There's especially fine. Only. Toka representation of the meaning of even more of the other person seemed to be not bad. Song. Dance of the young nobleman to Toka hand diction as there is something good. Even an expert of the expert is good. Volumes of innocent shine flavor it does not show. Is gone to see everyone so Sheila of the day I thought to become compelling thin interested day of the autumn leaves of Suzaku Council. Because I wanted to show it to you. Quote. Was to say like. The next morning Genji sent a letter to the temple of Fujitsubo. How did you visit? It did while disturbing the mind in painful thought. Kino mind she shaking out the sleeves of the body also unexpected roughness to Fu standing my to things Omu. Please forgive me for being rude. It was with. Whether it was not to be you to ignore yesterday's dance was more beautiful dazzling to the eye. The temple became a rite. That shake the sleeves of people from Kisin the pathetic put in farther etc. Tati stay. As an audience. Also short reply obtained was Tomasaka. For the received Genji was very happy. Because it is a song that even know were made such as the origin of the song of Nami Aomi in China. And is equipped with the insight it seems after another enough Genji smiling. Not staring to spread the letter as Kyoko Nobuta was. Miyuki Day only people there is also a noble whether you prince was the emperor of being in attendance on Mawari rowing the boat pond is also the day of Sagaku of Shibi shore. Was a thriving Utagega been danced nor songs of Goryo song of Tang. Whether it was too beautiful of a dance figure of Genji Day of the Sheila did not as arouse as the aesthetic heart of macho emperor become a worry. Some people hear that you have or become to read you through in the temple people. Your parent-child information is thought that so certain. But only Nyogo of his mother of Crown Prince was jealous that it is too much of your interest the first time. Musician are the only people who are authorized to Vasalia which is superior even from the basement. From the palace circles officials was appointed calling. Counselor 2 people. Then Saman governor. GM and supervision has been overseeing the left and right of these. My hand is not showed the results of the training, which was chosen the good nurse to every man here today. Wind of pine blow invited to the tone of 40 people of the musician was standing blow and was me a wholesale true. When the dance hand of Shanghai wave came out walking into the by Chilean variety of autumn leaves, the more of beauty seemed that it would be not on the ground. Autumn leaves you inserted the saw that was less number of leaves for wind. Changed refers to fold the garden before the chrysanthemum by left general is to buckwheat. Is quickly sugar was made before nightfall. Skies was moved the heart in this exquisite dance hand. The shiragiku of time when Genji of beauty has so Midashi purple by interpolating the crown. Showed the dance pretend not to neglect even minor hand beyond the day of the Shidla today. Such is where the dance to come a little turned back at the end. People or even remember all pure chill. And that of the human world did not appear. Under people, not sure of the value of things. Trees shade and rock shade. Or even those who had seen as buried in the fallen leaves. Had wept a little wise. The Nyogo of Yukatamawako Hall of the Fourth Prince was the mother was still in the dance the autumn wind music and Dagio was sightseeing of subsequently. The two was good. After the did not even attracted the interest of the people of what the other dance might was good better not. Genji went up from accordance ranked third in the positive third place tonight. Head Lieutenant General positive 4 place under becomes above. Then as often those that promoted also spread to other officials. Everyone knew that of course this is also a favor of Genji. Genji, which can delight some people in the world would there was a great good business before Ra? Fuji Tsubo the temple from there became year way from the court to the home. In an attempt to capture the opportunity to meet Genji have Kakazura just to visit Kyute. Sadaijin housewife did not Otanawa much. From greeted the princess of the on purple. If there is a person who reportedly put a person new to the article of the hospital. The heart of his wife was even more Urameshika. But the most that have a grudge against since it is not know the truth. If you aim out to honestly ordinary mouth like a man with his own also talk about the facts. But it can be explained if comfort your mood. A bad attitude that has a grudge against you a variety of conjecture alone. His is going to stop by a cheatin' heart and with other people. Anyway, a complete woman, there is nothing to say is a disadvantage. Because the wife was married to the first most than anyone might if they were respected. No matter how in my mind, is still there is no way well it is not known. In the future I'm sure Genji would be without his wife. As I think of myself. Because it also Genji did not trusting the person is a character that does not appear to indiscretion. Such as away from the Genji a little bit of that is there. There was also something special to the love you think that person has a couple tied forever. Waka Murasaki in accordance with going accustomed. Goodness of nature also attracted a lot of hearts of even appearance of beauty Genji. The princess loved innocently well Genji. Me not to know also what people in the house who now also be pair of the beginning of the west to the residence. Added if the brilliant equipment in there. Continue to educate the young queen herself had come all the time in here. In particular ICER focused, and also such as Nariwasi wrote a model. Had become like a good father with some and daughter was in another place until now. Create a treatment plan of the office. Did not feel any shortage to the aristocratic life ordered separately also home Sukasa. Moreover, other than the person who Waiguang I thought a Bukishiku how many people of a pair of West Main. The queen is the cry once love a nun Mr. sometimes even now. While in the Genji had undeniable. Even if there is that rare. Such as nights stay here. The go out and in many homes the day to attend sunset. Genji that there is a cage that are crying sad once is I thought cute. Second, to have 3 days imperial palace. As it is because when you are going to Sadaijin house they've crowded Miriwaka Murasaki at all. And feel you have a mother with no child. Restless be carried out to see the lover unexpected it has become in the mind. Bishop is in response to these reports. It was also happy with wonder. Genji also when was the temple of Kitayama of the memorial service of the nun Kun gave a thick fuse. Fuji Tsubo Miya de Sanjo of the temple is a jitai of Ome women and Genji Goto is to know how. Your Chunigan was drawing out my wife that such Nakatsu Kasa. Genji but had been a complaint to be an unfriendly treatment became Hyobu lord of the temple is come when you were talking about just a while holding his own. Genji became come to hear of the parlor and have a hearing coming. Noble seems, and the temple to be seen you in gloss of elegance man. The face in this state woman Genji it seemed ish beauty also consider if at all. A brother Kun of the house of Fujitsubo. Also Genji had a variety of story to remember deliberately familiar to being a Fukin of Dani. Waka Murasaki. A beautiful Genji look frank than ever before also Hyobu lord of the temple. Is not to know and like a son-in-law. Was to come to think youthful and so I want to make this man to woman. Hyobu lord of the house at night became zit inner toward the parlor of the house of Nyogo. Genji is envious. Long ago became majesty put us their own into mistakes of well Fujitsubo as Aiko. Without talking about standing in the agency as of today. Those that talk from Miyaguchi figure was here about when I think that there is. Now the temple was Urameshika. I should hear often. Nature and there is no patronage also wreck. You will be lazy if you have that he will command it. Is the satisfaction if you have please send us to say you're not hesitate. Genji went back to the such as the stiff greeting. King Myobu also could not bear of machinations. Also tried to observe implicitly your feelings of the house. What is Ochiji of their own destiny is this love. In advance I also strongly than in the past that it does not forget the Genji is a way to destroy. Their own it is not out of hand because I was your state to become. People who passively sad if it is ephemeral love is a temple of Fujitsubo. People who are actively languishing were you of Genji. Shanigan is that the unexpectedly of happiness have been appeared in the fate of the small queen. But was I think that would be the efficacy of dead Nunkun was leaning to the Buddha saying that the Imago to pray relentless. Power strong to the Sadaijin home is that there is a first wife. And I think that it is a Genji with a mistress here and there. The more troublesome is the time to see the marriage of truth. Of struggling to princess begins with I was afraid that it is the. But there is a specificity to this. Already it appeared to be not reliable in the future because it is Genji. Which so loved to a girl of the day. Since the mourning of his maternal grandmother was 3 months. It was allowed to changing the mourning 30 days of Shiwasu. Because there was a grandmother who was the mother instead of after the removal mourning is not. Even darker and without being flashy red color, purple, etc. Calm colors of bright yellow. And the original wearing a small uchigi of the geology of the very good fabric queen of purple of the day. Seems to have become suddenly modern beauty. Genji is a place to go in the equation of Chohai of the court. A little closer to the west of the pair. Starting today, I did you another adult. Genji said with a smile. Beautiful it is needless to say of Genji. You purple was crazy to play out the other chicks. Place a variety of props to Jupen 2 of the 3 feet. Also from the other in small maid house and several Genji had been given. It is the playing side by side them in the parlor throughout. Because the dog Kun said that the new Ozui physician broke it. No, it has me well. The princess is to say trying to sukaru a small house becomes very hard. It is really careless people. I will let them quickly healed. Because is the day to celebrate the auspicious today. Do not cry. Wife in the spring of the newly renovated of Genji. Which exits Inokoshi we had been postponed out close to the edge. From standing you also to see in the same way as purple. It was you or to the palace visit of imitate cleanly the costume Kimi of Genji in the dolls. I also boss a little becomes you to adults from the already this year. People above the 10-year-old is gonna my name is in the world and not good to play dolls. Because you like Izama person other good people come. Ish wife must be Irashara in the quiet. It also is it such that the rising your annoyance to combing your hair. Quote, Shanagan said and the like. But then is told in an attempt to make him ashamed of the just or crazy about the play. The queen is in my mind. I doubt there are other good people. You is so of Genji. Good people, such as Shanagan has everyone ugly face. I was in a good person the young people and Nani beautiful. I thought the first time such a thing. This is because it may be because 1 year is applied. Come may be such a childish is without the fact that what is in Itsukasa and samurai who come to the outside of the bamboo blind. What know that but wearing wondering. Everyone is still titular wife. Genji was leaving to better from imperial palace of Sadaijin house. Example is painful that is taken the unfriendly attitude. Such as that they beat look at the amorous man from a high place from the Mrs. Genji. Although I think I'm happy when you are ready to is to look at me and mind you warm even at least. From this year. But said that, Mrs. From listening to that was greeted women there to 2 articles of the hospital. The people of the more put to hante the most loved ones of Genji. Eventually provided the only published as a positive Mrs. I was jealous that it would be people. It is as well that have been hurt the self-esteem. Moreover, the Fu not notice anything. Lost the Genji to like to go over to say Hutan. Was not such as to not attractive manner in which the forced Stonehenge. I think sour ashamed at Mrs. themselves that it is the older of about 4 years old. It is a lady of woman prime well-equipped beauty is admits also Genji. Where to have a no drawback wife. Just something like this and I have become a fool. Such as bear a grudge to this person from his amorous also Genji thought. Modern Sadaijin the father is especially big powers that be in the same minister. Because it is the only daughter born from his wife as a princess. Have finished in the pretentious nature. Receives the handling missing the respect even a little. It is impossible to forgive. Pride of Genji grew up as emperor of Iko taught and may ignore it. Thing is apparently what is making the groove of his wife. Sadaijin even if there is such as the matter of the new wife of article of the hospital. But was also rising Urameshi the son-in-law your heart is not Tanomashiku. I loved Genji resentment nothing forget it met. Now it is also to try all the hospitality. When you try to go out as Genji next morning. The minister of the Genji wearing a costume. Gave him to bring in their own bands of stone that has become famous treasure. Look at the shape of Genji was dressed. The minister of such are fixed by pulling by hand towards the back had been. Shoes is also just not taken in hand. Parental love that I think the daughter hit the heart of Genji. The kind to say that because there will be a poetry meeting of the court, let's use at that time. Speaking of bands of Gibson. It is also there is the better. This is just only thing a little unusual. To say, minister by force to use it. Minister to enshrine this son-in-law Kun was feeling a purpose in life. Happiness if allowed to enter and leave this person as a son-in-law case also Tomisaka seemed that it would have sufficient minister. Sangha location of Genji was also not many. Crown Prince. Went one salon. Then to Sanjo of the house of Fujitsubo. It appears to us beautiful also that today. I'm a person be a year is enough to become if you're going you're fine to contact then. When the wife we are whispering this. The temple is seen from between this light Kicho a hint the face of Genji. Many things seem to your heart. Past the deck. Supposed to be of your birth. This month would and also wait for people of Sanjo of the house are available. The emperor also already, but became come to your Kokorozu Mori about the Prince Nyogo birth. Anything without only be January Te. When Mononoke is a rumor in the world as well as will are allowed to delay for your birth. The temple of your heart was very painful. And what will the person who bear the notoriety that is not saved by this fact? Be this kind of agony was the worse your acceleration and touch the natural your body. There is that match I think that Genji also heard it many. Had to hear on there in the temple and dual cultivation for maternal of the house so as not conspicuous. Anxiety of whether grave inzit died a temple in your illness during this period. But the heart of Genji was allowed to more dark, because the prince became your birth to 10 several days in February. Emperor also sported your satisfaction. People of Sanjo of the house also opened the shubi. It should be noted that your heart that to live is embarrassed by regrets. Because as he died when the words of the curse say per Hiroshi Wadayan have been told as just be laughed at as a miserable person. With your so now served from the time that became thought to become your strong might to die. Even your weakness began to kaifuku little by little. Emperor became come once to be a very see the new prince. While burning heart to the fire of father sexual love. Not may people Genji when asked the chance with less waiting upon person. Your majesty might I rash aru wants to be the you how to wakamaya. So I think I want if I would like to be in first see you now in your state. And Genji but is to have applied. What that person of your newborn still does not have one to show you from thank cormorant. Ugliness. In your greeting of Hahamaya that there was a reason to not show it to. It is a life like Genji surprisingly your face wakamaya. Because never seemed to those of another. Mia became come to this from the demons of your mind to the pain. People that does not notice his own negligence look at this wakamaya would not. It is also the world is to try to togameo the people seek out nothing. When made any bad name I think you whether that he is subject to. After all the unfortunate who were the hot tears spilling in there on your own. Genji and when the rare conveniently Ome women is called. But it is to ask and let me see you in the temple with all the lot of words. Now there was no longer anything of the paddle. For the desire of the new prince look. Why would you say to up to so much? Naturally that day or not there is a visit a shrine of. It was answered with. But mind that two people silently has each other reading was separately. Because not that should be referred to in the mouth. It was difficult to also word that the better. When also will weaken directly to the story. To say cry Genji is not a pity in the eyes of Ome women. Separated in across the world in the old days ensue in any way pledge. I do not know. Both Genji is to say. Myobu is your Mia, knew well the agony. That tell much thought it was a duty of the person who made the mediation of love. Jinhao of Tankronko and the world people blind Iomu also look who food darkness. Both I think that it is to bad extent the same. Quote. And Myobu said. Also Genji as there is no office trims go home said. If degree they overlap also caused a suspicious residence of the person to be loved you as he used. The Ome women Sanuka and the temple is made to come worried it should not be. Not to say you anything to Habaka, that stand in the eye. But in the temple of your mind as sympathizers of the Genji from there seems to also be the hate. You Myobu. Myobu was wondering joylessly. It seems would have him tan that those also surprisingly. Wakamaya in April became to enter your being brought to the mother temple to the imperial court. Normally then infants turned become Rashiku much larger children. Nowadays were being also to allow longer cause the body return. Confusing so was also no wakamaya of your countenance. But, taken there you it the thought unexpected depend also on the emperor. Was Obo Shimeshi and apparently his excellent child each other is something similar. Emperor was also Basa the new prince supremely or carefully. While becoming to come very love you of Genji. From to become a stand you in the crown prince could not your run for fear of blame of Sejo. Emperor always Obo Shimeshi to lifelong regrettable thing. G-length because although was increasingly turned to look at going equipped with the champion. Seems to appearance in Obo Shimeshi so as not to bear the Kokoro Guroshi is. It is the son of the same good looks as the newly born from such a noble of Nyogo Te. This is what is your to be a defect of funked ball, become favor. Palace of Nyogo became come think it also painful. The emperor, such as when the lieutenant general of Genji is gentlemen like to play the music become come. Hugging. I have a lot of children. saw every day you only from time to time so small. So I feel that is similar to what I think in the same way as is. Do you between small wonder all these kind of things? So you say to a how to become a very cute you think it is worshipped. Genji is terribly and feel that also changes the color of the face also. Madanai Naku also. Happy even. Was likely to spill tears wondering variety also as shims to learn. Since become a move it a cuckoo in your mouth like saying things was very you're beautiful. Face even while their own is said to be similar to this face was thought also that it should be respected. Mia became cum sweat too much of Kataharaida of. Genji looked at Wakamaya. Also had to leave noticed in some of the things that disturb the mind of unexpected father's sexual love. Genji had been thinking of going back to the east of a pair of 2 articles of the hospital, taken at a later time from the rest of the painful breast to Sadaijin house, without the nuniki in the implantation of the front yard, into which is blue without what grass. I folded the pink that bloomed to make a noticeable color. Wrote a letter to accompany it to the Longome women. Suyuke of over pink flowers in Nagusama also heart to see while to elsewhere. To love thought the flower like a child I learned that it is finally impossible. And also it had been written. Humayobu also there was a chance. Not come toward your eyes of a temple. Do not you please write this reply as much as just enough to become right to us this petal. Just a little. I mentioned a. Mia was also the time when keenly you sad. Yamato Natashiko, not stop also a more inomu the sleeves get wet lulu do yukari. Only, faintly, the paper that are written, such as those of crushed oyster. Myobu while joy is sent to Genji. Example reply of in anticipation that there is no like, is the temple of Ohenji was delivered when you are still sadness kuzuore. Uneasiness is Genji of tears even when this very glad to fell. Staring it is to feel unbearable sleeping while the pensive was seen to go to comfort location west of the pairs of examples. With the exception of the parlor while blowing the nostalgic sound of the whistle in Uchigi. Appearance of it into the room wearing the hair that was a little disturbed. Queen of Purple was lying in fu. Such dainty as a little while ago of Nadesico is wet in dew. Very beautiful. Face is charming enough spilling. Is the is directed to the other side so I think reproachful Genji did not come out even immediately. After the sign was Kitai. Sitting towards the end of the parlor. Welcome to here. It is the ignorant face to say that. Hum and enter paint nair ya grass of iso. Oki of miraculous love fracture. And the state is cute rayleigh of which rely on the sleeves to the mouth can be seen. So you are singing a boring song. I cannot think that must be seen all the time is better. Genji tried to run over you purple say issue to the wife of the Kodo. 13. Kodo of stringing is because those that do not so much as a nicely as to increase the tone of the center of the stringing. To say that, and give to the princess in the only alignment scraping down the pillar to Tairacho. It was flipping beautifully Izu also any more shin. The hand movements that small people suppress the bail by extending the left hand Genji thought cute. Himself was teaching while blowing the whistle. Head took to learn, such as in much just once well difficult tone. Genji was happy to see the lady seems to quality also by what? But because the coercive Senlujushi interest is the song of the strange name. Though interesting Genji and the whistle blows it. Play without differs between the Kodo pickers small people had been but a sound to match. Good it looks and Tesuji to be. Had seen from the Sodat chain the light and picture together. From the outside of the bamboo blind is a little while ago Genji because had been ordered ready to go out before coming here. Samurai who the test is prompt. Rain is there likely to get off. When asked to say like, you went crowded Miri as usual as Koko Robosoku purple. Cute Icer looking down and has also seen the picture. While Yari stroking the beautiful hair that is nearing spill. When I'm gone on elsewhere, for you are lonely. And say Queen nodded, consisting I'd add another painful and are not looking at you one day. But I, because you are small, I have peace of mind. I, because there are people who happen to say a variety of mean if I do not go. Of the now I will go to the better. You also think you do not want ulama from people not go to elsewhere in other never if an adult alive longer. Because I think that you want in your happiness. Quote, when the bits and pieces to talk to hear and the like. Not even Stonehenge ashamed indeed. Seeing that fell asleep as it is leaning against the knee. Genji become poor. To that you do not go out any more tonight. And say to the samurai, the people we went to stand to there. Soon dinner of Genji has been transported to a pair of the West. Genji is causing the queen. I decided to not any more go. It happened in Nagusan and say. Then we had dinner together. But the princess did not eat roku by fu. Such as still fragile. In maker nemi na. That does not appear as to say such a thing once abuna whether not a lie. To go with this kind of lovely people. Genji thought that it cannot be even if there is no matter how I miss the people place. Therein that the it is also often held back something like this. Some, such as samurai, there is also those who convey to Sadaijin house. Would be person of any identity. Allah's rude person. Where daughter to the article of the hospital is to thing there is no story that was worrisome your daughter-in-law, like that are holding back going out to hear. Also to playfully or well that then is I rasharu. The is not that I do not think the people of the venerable your identity. The wife class people of relationship that began with such become issue put to the article of the hospital wife imperial palace. And my refers condemned it your become a thought. You started to the secret that everyone. What I childish gestures often. Wife and the like had to say. Bride of the problem of the two articles of the hospital went herd up to the imperial palace. Yes or worried about is sorry not either. Sadaijin. Small you to me in the son-in-law. It will be a favor do not know the year to date was doing more than enough. But why deal with the daughter to indifference? Even saying that His Majesty in only as showing the Genji was just afraid. Did not make your answer anything. Emperor was poor in obo shimeshi and will do not like his wife. Exceptional it is without a self-indulgence man. Though there is no such rumors have been the wife of a lady and Niogo's lover. Would why make the results ulama to the father-in-law and wife to such a secret? It was so. Emperor was the other good your elderly was fond of your beautiful woman. Those of Yoshoku well as uname and women brewers was the era that is welcomed by the court. Thus, while a beautiful woman there were many in the court, but such a person who would have been easy to hold the lover relationship if even to the care Genji. Genji looked familiar with to blame or lady who has the since it was none to show the courtesy of its meaning. Even if that bother the people who unsuspiciously exerts refers to Hutan. Genji is just garnished to the extent it is not indifference. Try it more dating I do not have even had those who think less than things from. In maid of honor that compelling set of the year. It is also the output of a good home. Was also a talented woman. While have been considerably Iraq who think from the world. In that respect there is a woman who is made to frown on the person amorous nature. Genji is why I feel strange that it would not be cheating quit saying is this year. When we over refers to Hutan of love, has involuntarily become a partner and suits not. While I think squalidly also. Within response to the truly bizarre impulse Genji had made the relationship. Because the rumor was embarrassing disproportionate lover. Genji me not to tell the people, deliberately that the surface is in the callous. The woman was not always uranium. Maid of honor is served the role of your hair-up of the emperor. Since it was over, the emperor in the room from which you go out is to call your people to serve the summons instead. It is there are no other persons. Maid of honor is the who receive a beautiful feeling the normal. Such as to appear even gloss placed shape of the head. I saw the dress is also wearing a flashy clean ones. While Genji I think that's what the Wakazakuri forever. Moving in mind wanna know and would have if I thought. Tried to pull the hem of Sang from behind. I have maid of honor that Mackay, while to hide his face with a paper fan, who wrote a gorgeous picture. Although stretching deliberately trying harakiri the eyelids, is black. Be those that went deep muscle it was. I think the fan that does not suit strangely. And see the source maid of honor instead of to itself. It is the bright red earth, one in which the color of the thick forest and the blue painted. Although it is not youthful character towards the horizontal or being skillfully sung called, no. Some people mo not sa may also frame if wet undergrowth old forest is written. Sarcasm a love song, such as that be without written Genji while I smile. I do not have so large Araki of the forest what summer shadow is a thriving summer shirukari. Quote. And I think also that it is unbecoming opponent a play of love to say such a thing. Genji was wishing just as maybe Nasean people. The woman does not think such a thing. Also nari lower leaves precious than shepherd solder prime cutting to pieces of 10 ere it come to. You say very much the sex appeal plenty of facial expressions. Sasa divided if people and blamed and time and without framed of tame mel forest kogakure. I cannot go inadvertently because your place is often offense. Quote. Says the Genji to let stand, maid of honor is to bear in hand. I do right I never was agonita so. In love that would soon abandon the shame of life in here. Very cry sadly. I go always in the near future. Always just cannot so I think while running. You to get away by releasing the sleeve. Maid of honor is also to conduct applying to say once again step by step to come, bridge, pillar. Nan constantly medium into while omoi. Emperor that are done o meshake is except from fus sumako now zite. The is the unbalanced such lovers. While becomes a comedy with funny oboshi meshi. Emperor. I man was not still in need of you who say that it is serious to love hate. And now you say you to the lady in waiting. Lady in waiting has been feeling a little also embarrassment, because in order to miss the person is there also dressed once those who even Nirajinu. Excuse did not try. Subsequent imperial palace of the people who were rumors this relationship has unexpected love. And it entered the ear of the head lieutenant general. Also yourself secret of Genji, which usually no exactly guessed. Still with I think I'm such notice as much. Been going on also own curiosity. Fairly erotic source lady in waiting it became of the one of the lover. Since this young nobleman also was not a young man in the quite common. Although the relationship is willing to compensate for the love which is not trivial tired of Genji. People should not have to miss even now in the mind of the lady in waiting was just a one of Genji. It is a troubled amorous woman. What is known Genji the relationship between the head lieutenant general because he was in a very secret to the lady in waiting to tell the resentment and see in the palace. Genji is old and unpleasant feelings while having only sympathy to the point that was not even going to see you long uncontrollably. The night of the summer after the shower when invited to the coolness of walking for Yutaka Akira Hall. Maid of honor was skillfully playing the pipa at the bottom of the room. Time of your play of the music of soft buttocks. Because was a master of enough to the role of others are also added into the all-man of palace. Circles officials biwa. It is the sound of the bell to play while trouble in love with Genji. It was something that hit the heart. A song called Moderation Palm become the melon making. A little antipathy to singing in gorgeous and beautiful voice happened. Of a woman of Ajo that Hikaruka 10 was heard Genji and was probably there is such a charm as had heard. Woman quit playing were fu not bear in thought. Genji and are singing the Arbor of Saibara by Miss Sai. A place called Not Kumpusha's open, accompanied by the same sound. Genji was felt with different without permission. Flip rough servants standing get wet Marua people wonder if poured rain consuming even song to the arbor. Woman singing and has a tansoku. Would not only than that intended for myself. But I thought why Genji and will so much the person is awaited. Married woman is omu each and flip accustomed also much of the Mayan Anawazura chopsticks pavilion. and eyes you'd with. But Genji as one it would go. Went into the room as one it a thought that would be was to insult lady in waiting. Genji is the one that Ia, and woman and cheerful to Hutan. Has been felt this frontier is not bad. Head Lieutenant General and Rashiku serious is Genji. Or condemn their love problems. Attention given or thought Kuchio Shiku certain to be a should be a lover or several who were hidden in the Genji and have the ignorant fu since it is. I had always wanted to grab even one of them in fact somehow. Seen together come the chance of tonight meeting. Head Lieutenant General is pleased. And a little intimidating to such opportunity. I wanted to say that Kolai stumped Genji. It had been given a guard accordingly with it. Frosty to be sure to allow sign of wind blew through and Genji et al. Dandruff took hour and minute of the night as thought weather fell asleep a little. Head Lieutenant General went softly entered into the room. Snorting specific I could not go as like to sleeping Genji as was aware of the approaching of the person is awake immediately I to the sounds. When I think in the old lover of lady in waiting and would be repaired Dayu with rumors that do not want to leave better of the man even now. I think the awkwardness of the case, which was discovered a dissolute relationship ridiculous old man. It's going to be a nuisance. I will go home. The coming of the husband she would have knew from the beginning. I had to stay overnight cheating me. To say. Genji went to the back of the folding screen and lowered by hand only healed. Lieutenant General fussing preface folding of from before the folding screen that Genji was hidden. Endure the funny to the horizontal. While taking a year if there is experience that lady in waiting of delicate physique of beauty. Types were troubled previously also Kachi eye of lover. The Genji while panic and worried that was how the man after. Sitting on the floor I had elite. But then as Genji thought was about to leave so as not be noticed that it is their own. Not remedied the appearance that became sloppy. When I thought from behind to escape well distort the crown. As it is the feeling of shame I was trying to make calm. Lieutenant General is not by all means say what you know and must think rather than their own. When pulling out the sword just the fu angry. You, maid of honor is to have worshipped head Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General was not likely to laugh. Here out appearance or making the flashy show a substantial youth maid of honor also the year 57 was 8. Massaging the mind in the midst of the resulting look at this case is also discard anything. 20th before and after the official announcement state that there was an abomination itself. Resulted to teach the truth to the unnaturalness is rather Genji toad look better as it is not my attempt reluctant bother fear. When I think is that you're deliberately to know that myself became feel that ne'er not matter. Finally it becomes amusing if it can be seen that the head Lieutenant General and pinching much captures the elbow with a sword that was pulled out. Lieutenant General had also laughed while I regret that it has been seen Ariwawa. What is serious, that's a terrible man. A little from where this heel. And Genji even if say Lieutenant General not you release the healed. Well, remove you to say that. From solved by pulling the band of Lieutenant General. When you knew Gasayo the fix. It resisted the my takeoff. Scene while you were attracted to each other has had an hokaron. Or pull you doing in out mel name and memory to wrap in the clothes in the square hakarabaru. With trouble is out to Akurumi. When Lieutenant General says, view each in summer clothes out barrels Asuki mind to know a hidden a kimono. Genji is also of not losing. It had became the untidy appearance both. Genji was sleeping at night duty stations while I regret that it has been threatening to friends. Surprised the lady in waiting was Taurus made to have a such as thimble and a band that had left. The next morning, the wave of vestiges she returned by pulling overlaid defunct standing each unhayahi even resentment. It is sad. Collapse should be of those of the castles of love as I have collapsed. Quote, letter that it had been served. Genjian will think no face was still uncomfortable remember the last night. But wrote a reply because there was also a place good doing mercy to the appearance of the woman. who had pulled for care. Heart brand how grudge against the rocky shore Ken remarks etc. Nay fuss in rough immediately city wave. It is only with band were those of Lieutenant General. If his or her library then is like a little dark color. When the Genji is looking to match the last night of repair. Was noticed to have gone sleeves heeled. Would be embarrassing as what? And will such a thing all the time there's as if the person who rummaged the woman Genji was. Reflection. From more of Night Duty Office of the Head Lieutenant General. There will be first necessary to be your binding put this more than anything else. The Taurus wrapped the sleeves of Fix wrote that it would why it was taken Genji was frustrating. This dispute band of Lieutenant General if you do not have entered into their own hands was happy. And was going negative, wrapped in the same color of the paper in the band. Band of Hanada to abortion Ibaka each and negative suddenly crisis stresses not Semites catcher. Genji was doing it to have written that love is what is said to be the cause to eliminate and touched by the hands of others in the band, which was solved by the woman of place. And also folded from Lieutenant General. Elegant simplicity toka in the pain extinct and thus if nuclear taken up or pain banned to you. They're also responsible for anything. It is written, when both of them to the loadmaster of palace circles become noon. Lieutenant General must also funny looking at is the prim and proper face Genji. Since that day was the day itself public a lot as Kurando head was making extremely serious face. But it is of being smile to each other when the eyes meet to weather the time signature. Everyone Lieutenant General said to come closer to the buckwheat when the dog. I would have coal eye in secret. Looking at Sherm, it seems there is a sense of superiority. Nani, it's a pity people in vain welcoming much trouble then. At all it's your annoying woman. Was he at tried a secret. But then it mayor was bitter smile the Genji and later Lieutenant General started to say how much of that night commotion. It is not even a punishment to receive for the Miss Woman. The woman that the use of the variety and finesse as Yuhiko the heart of Genji followed by Genji. Wanted loud. Lieutenant General without its story to my sister. I thought only you that it is advantageous is better to use for annoy Genji. The Genji. Which is good prince who became you have a maternal relative also of Emperor Kodocho is the so come. At a glance. But only the head lieutenant general had the confidence that may not lose. It is to show the competitive spirit to Kodogoto. Only this person in the son of Sadaijin had a mother kun of the princess of his wife and the litter of Genji. Only you are of Genji just as different is that it is a prince. It also is the father of the minister with a maximum of power to say that the same minister. Then it was born from the princess. He preciousness Takashi which does not differ much it seems what I think to be in. People were also find Kimiko through for many of the academic and really boring unexpected things to be two people as they often become the topic of people to compete. This was supposed there's an imperial investiture of the empress in July. Genji went up to the counselor from Lieutenant General. There is Obo Shimeshi Mr. One Emperor sported a near abdication. Became to think you want to Wakamaya became birth you the house of Fujitsubo to crown prince there. Is no appropriate person to for your patronage in the future. Maternal Europe because I have been to the unwritten law is also the uncle cannot be involved in the actual politics at all prince. And Obo Shimeshi that it will be placed in late in place of after just a Hahamaya become strengths. Of Wakamaya became come to Gishi the temple of Fujitsubo to Nakamaya te. Nyogo of Hiroshi Dayan there was a reason that it is not Tairaka to this. But it is because of such things any more in the near future to the throne of crown prince. Because of you that may be of course the queen mother at that time. Please have widely care. Emperor became come this way comforted Nyogo. A mother kun of the crown prince. That sports in after the Fujitsubo to invoke besides Nyogo made 20 several years an imperial. Bridal party's entry into the court may not have as to obtain an equivalent. Examples there was a variety to say who in the world and so on. the companion of the new Nakamaya made to enter your after a ceremony to the imperial palace was also your Genji. Even if I would like to after a bite. Your identity of this man was a princess of Afterbelly. It was seen as bright baker after is all have jewels. And you're of emperor because I was a big deal that also favor. It was pleased that the government's manta is to serve this later. Genji with a favor to the other reason is. Imagine I miss your appearance in the portable shrine. A more and more distant far. Was he tanned to heart and became as it is in the hands of the rich hard gentleman. Mind was enough to become strange. It is attached to see the person to pivot kana kumwa in the darkness of Tsukimo's brand heart. It is sad to think this way. Your face Wakamaya has become your go similar to the increasingly Genji as your growth sports. Nobody there appears to be no person to get the attention to such secret. But it is not never could see the same good looks and Genji be changed what if made. Seijin also thought if these two men of the princes the month and day visiting in the similar as it takes to the sky in the same form it was. Yakuchu. This volume also began in the preceding 2 volumes in the same year of autumn. Until the fall of Genji 19-year-old has been written.